Yeah, mate. Sort of do a short little video, so you can see the inside of the cylinder, or intake, I should say. I'm trying to film this here. It's not really well that made. There's a groove. Well, I can zoom on that. I'm trying to hold the pen. Torch. Maybe they'll do it. Right, zoom on that. See, there's a bit of a mold spot just there. You see it again down there. That's a bit better. So you see, that's right, yeah, there we go, focus. You can see that the mold is not lined up square. Top, same thing. But the part I'm worried about is the bottom part. The left is higher than the right, so I'm going to get the left down the same height as the right, and we're not going to go any further down. I'll show you why. The timing is huge, so I'll move that around to where the piston comes down, so you can see it. So, the piston going up. I've got to deal with the bottom base gasket too. It's a bit tight. So there's where the piston opens up. So you can see the right hand side is a lot bigger than the left hand side. Left hand side is now shut. Trying to get my head in the right angle for the torch and all. So you can see the right hand side open. So I will make it the same, but that's cracking there, right? So the timing is close to 90 degrees, which is say 80, 90 degrees. I figure it's going to be. Now normally I'd go to 82. Apparently Neotech saw is 82 already from the factory, so I'll see how we go with that. But I don't know. I've done a big block before and I haven't had this problem before. But what I will do is I'll do port with the standard piston, the standard intake. I won't make the intake any taller or any wider, because it should suck enough fuel through where it is now and have plenty of air and fuel. The last cylinder I had massive problems with on a Pharmatech, but I was using a red barn piston. So there's your piston up there. They would freeport. So now this one doesn't freeport. But if you do a base gasket delete, the squish is too tight and they freeport. So at the moment it doesn't freeport. It's on the very, very edge. I could just about almost see, but it doesn't freeport. So that's fine. The numbers for this are not too bad too. So the 23 or 24 degrees blow down. So I want to get to 25, maybe 26. And that should all work. Transfers, they're not too bad. The upper ones, they're pretty good. The lower ones need opening up like always. They need cleaning up, but the piston's fine. They do just make sure there's no sharp things on the piston. But yeah, just the intake. I couldn't believe that when I saw it. So the mold's not lined up here either. So where the whole thing, it's just not lined up square. So we'll see how we go, but it should be fine. Anyway, I'll right, Paul, next video. That's your lower port. You can notice on the right hand side there, it's more of a V or a funnel. Because I like to get the air to flow down, because the air's going to go back towards the intake, which is this side here. So you want max airflow to come down and force its way that way. So I put a channel through this side here and a channel down here to force the air around that corner, the same as that one there. You can see it's V'd on the intake side, Now the intake, I haven't gone any further down. This little piece here was a small imperfection, I think. Don't know if you can see that. There's a little like lip. And must have been really weak metal there. But that's where the higher stuff was. So that's basically level. I put two little grooves on the intake. Should be able to see this way. To feed more air in a structured way, so it'll go in the intake that way. So hopefully you can see that. The exhaust, I just brought the exhaust up just a little bit. So it's got another 1 degree timing on it, so a little bit more on the roof, and I'll polish it up. So I've got to be really careful. I didn't polish the bottom too much because these cylinders have got an issue of free porting. So if you don't, if you touch the bottom here, you'll see directly under the piston, and that causes problems. You get carbon buildup under the piston, and it shortens the motor life. Big. Now, I've also got the steel gasket, and I took a little piece off, relieve the gasket here and here, because when it goes on here like that, the piston actually goes lower than this gasket when it goes bottom dead center, just a little bit by about, I don't know, probably mil. And this gasket was too tight, so it was actually hitting the gasket as it tried to come down. But now clearance, so I'm using a gasket, because if I didn't use a gasket, you'd have free porting. So even with a gasket, it's still a tiny, I'd say 1/10 or 1/20 of free port. But that should be fine, because by that time there, all the exhaust fumes are left, there's no back pressure. So I'll get this thing put back together, and I've washed it, so I've got to clean the bench. I go the other way. Got to put the saw back together. I'll run the saw, see how it goes, and then I'll do a muffler mod on top of that as well to check how it's going. So you'll see. Well, you go in stages, that way you know where you are. But yeah, muffler mod. I've roughed up all these intakes too, so it'll atomize the fuel a bit better. Anyway, mate, I'll keep you in touch. Well, I never spoke about the piston. Now the piston, that's the exhaust side, the arrow there. There's always an arrow or a spot or something. On the intake side, to the right hand side of the piston, I've opened that window up just a little bit. You can see it, it's moved just there, above the gudgeon pin. Point to it, hang on. Just there, I've opened it up just a little bit more, so more airflow on both sides. The exhaust, I've gone just a bit higher. They've both been a bit higher, but this one's actually been relieved a little bit more here, because as the piston goes down and throws the next charge of air up, this is where the main amount of air I want this side of the piston to throw it down that hard, a bit harder. So that's the side. So you can see this one's been done this side too. So they're opposite each other, obviously. But that's how that one works. I've made sure all the sharp edges are gone, sanded it, both inside out, washed it, and all the rest of it. So yep, now it's time to put back together. All right, mate. Well, if you got to this far in the video, you know this particular port work job has been a bit of a nightmare. The intake timing is 189 degrees, which is unbelievable. So I don't even think it will run. All I did was make sure the two joints in the bottom of the cylinder lined up. So I took a whisper off one side, and the highest one was 188 degrees. That's with a base gasket, and the low side was 189. So I lined them up. I didn't make the port any wider, so hopefully it might get away with it, but I doubt it. I found up my specs on the other blue one I've done this. It was 161 degrees total duration. So this one's 189 total duration, which is way too big. Blow down, I hit that where I wanted. I wanted 25 degrees blow down, so that worked out alright. Anyway, to really fix this is JB Will. I don't really want to do this because it's not my store, it's the customers. So I've actually asked Pharmatech already. I bought the cylinder in July this year. So hopefully they'll send me another one to top it all off. When I went to put it all back together, where the spark plug goes into here, there's not enough room for the plastic foot. There's not enough room for the spanner to go in, because the plastic covers the hole. The spark plug's too far to the left. so that doesn't even line up either. I had to take the cover off, twist the cover, just to get the spanner onto the cylinder, tighten it up, pull the cover back, put the bolts in. It's just designed wrong. The cylinder, the piston goes up and down, the cylinder fine. It just, I don't know, if it runs, I'll be very surprised. If it runs and performs, I'm even more surprised. Now we'll see if she starts. Then I'll try and get it to idle. Now these carby settings are what were on the store originally. So this is a cold start. I put it together last night, so we'll just see what happens. I say there'd be too much blowback, and I'll take the air filter off and have a look as it runs. You'll see it's probably shooting out petrol out here. So if it's not, well, I'll be learning something. If it doesn't do that, I'm learning stuff myself. Well, we'll see if she goes. Highway pop-up piston. So whoa, that's a kick. I'll hold my tongue right off this one. I think I'll let me lesson last time. Bear through it. I flooded it last time trying to start it. On the first saw I did. So that's choke, half idle. That's actually on. So we'll see if she starts there. Closer, there is blowback. I don't know how bad it'll be though. You'll see the fuel come out the carbon. Bad. Get back to the bench. Well, it looks like Farm Tech might be right the way they designed it. I don't think so. Straight at fluke, I think. I don't like where the spark plugs are going in on a funny angle and all that type of stuff. But the intake timing, it's way out, but it's working, guys. I can't believe I'm not forcing this thing. It wants to hit like a power band and take off like it is. But new motor, I want to run the thing in first, and once I do a few cuts or a few tanks, then I'll do a muffler mod and send it back to its home. But the way that thing's performing now, it hasn't been running that long. How wet is the air filter? I don't want the air filter to become a fuel filter. If it's soaking wet, you know it's not working. There's the inside sponge, no fuel. So it appears it's working. Now it's working better than I ever thought it would. Last night I put them together thinking, oh, all that work, and then the degree wheel on it, I thought, you're going to be kidding me. But it seems to work out alright. So I haven't got an operator today. I was going to come out here and cut some wood, but I was outside the rain. I thought, nah, I won't do it. So I thought I'd just do a little cut like here. But yeah, I'm happy with that. That goes well. Alright, thanks guys.